What is up, traders? My name is Chris. I am the Algo Man, and welcome to today's recap of the Nasdaq 100 futures, where we're going to be working with a 2-minute and a 15-minute time frame, tapping into the dynamic duo of CYMO Pro and PureMO. Now, today's session had a little bit of everything. Early morning drift to the upside, caught perfectly by CYMO's structure, clean and simple. But here's the catch. What looked like a smooth climb on the 15-minute time frame turned into a micro chop on the 2-minute. That's going to be really interesting to see. And if you weren't paying attention, guys, to structure, you probably got tied trying to force trades that just weren't there. And then came the late morning reversal, and that's when both CYMO and PureMO locked it in, lit it up to the downside with a clean entry, momentum flipped, structure confirmed it, and if you had the tools on your screen, well, you saw it happen before it became obvious, okay? Now, if you're new around here and wondering what this is all about, okay, guys, these are indicators that you can test drive right now, free, for a full 7 days. CYMO, PureMO, Scalp Mode, the dynamic VWAP, all of it. Zero cost. Y'all can click the link in my bio and just take them for a spin, okay? So we're going to go ahead and do this replay. So watch closely because this is going to be a really nice comparison that I'm going to make that you don't want to miss, okay? And we'll walk and, and talk about how these tools could help give you your edge if that's exactly what you're currently missing in your process right now, right? So before anything, let's go ahead and do our little countdown. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, bingo. Let's go ahead and run this bad boy at 20 times the speed of the market so we can actually get it to move. All right, and this is the 15-minute chart. And keep an eye, guys, we're going to showcase the 15-minute, and then I'm going to show you exactly what happened on the 2-minute time frame, okay? This is the opening bar right there, guys, okay? Okay, nice little pop to the upside. You've got momentum falling, cycle falling here on the 15-minute time frame, okay? There is no trade to take right now on the 15-minute time frame if that's happening, okay? None, zero. Gotta hold your horses if you see something like this, okay? First bar of the day, you're not going to jump in that either, right? You're going to let the dust settle. Let's see what shakes out. Remember that you get the second print at 9. You actually get the first print when this closes at 9:45. So right here, we've got takeoff to the upside right there, guys, okay? And this is takeoff to the upside. You had a pivot right here. Cycle goes up. Momentum goes up. Second bar of the day. Okay, that is your entry to the long side right there, okay? Now, today was a really cyclic day in the market, guys. And even though you had a little bit of a trend component on the 2-minute time frame, you want to watch market structure on your 15-minute chart, okay? Unless you're a self-funded trader, this 15-minute chart is not designed to be traded if you're with the prop firm, guys. The intra-bar oscillation right here is such that you will probably get stopped out. Now, where does this trade end? This trade right here is going to end the moment that this cyan line right here reverses and crosses below the zero line right here. And the zero line is this purple line, okay? So keep an eye on it right there, and we'll see how it flows, okay? And this was a nice little drift to the upside, guys. And you want to definitely see what this looked like on the 2-minute chart, which I'm going to show you right now in a second, okay? But we'll just let this trade play out until the cyan line actually crosses below the zero line, and then we'll go ahead and take that trade off. What do I think about NA? I don't know what NAK is. And guys, I promise I'll read the remarks after I get out of this trade. So if you guys took this trade and you guys were kind of feeling, if you were at your desk and you were feeling this, like your heart's thumping, I wouldn't blame you. All right, so the moment that this bad boy crosses below the zero line, guys, we are done. Okay? And this trade is probably going to be over pretty soon right now, the moment the cyan line crosses below zero right there. And that would be the end of your upward rotation right there to the upside, okay? Right there, guys. This would be the end right there of that trade. You can take that trade and get out completely right there. In fact, I forgot to put my markers on this. Sorry about that, guys. There you go. That's the trade right there. All right. That would be the end of this move to the upside based on market structure right here. Okay. Now, check this out. All right. This is where this whole thing gets really, really, really fun. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and pause it for right now because I want you to look at this. Okay. So 15-minute time frame perfectly caught this move to the upside right here when cycle went above zero and then it crossed right back below zero. This is at a setting of 11 right here, okay? But check this out, guys, okay? What I want you to notice is look at this trade, okay? 19,068 to 19,127. Nice little move to the upside, but check this out, okay? I want you to see how this looks on a 2-minute time frame, all right? You saw a nice clean drift to the upside, nice clean move to the upside on the 15-minute, but look at how it looked on the 2-minute time frame right here, okay? So this right here, guys, is where the trade would have started on the 2-minute time frame that kind of just went all over the place and ended right here. Look at that. Same trade, different time frame, okay? So if you would have looked at this, okay, this is not where you would have taken any of these trades at all, okay? And trust me when I say that, you would not have taken these trades right here, okay? To begin with, you would have seen that right out of the gate, price popped, okay? You would have seen that on the 15-minute. You would have came here to the 2-minute. You would have saw this. You would go, hot dog, this thing just popped right there. It hit the top of the 80-bar VWAP right here, okay? You would have seen PureMO hit the top of the 90% threshold right here. And you guys know when it hits this 90% threshold, price is what? Exhausted. It's exhausted, okay? Price right here would have just kind of rolled back down just the way it did right here, all the way down, okay? And you know, if you would have taken your entry here, it would have been based off of what? Did you have any signal right here to give you any indication that price was actually going to go up? In fact, price at this level right here, guys, is still in cycle mode, okay? And if you're in cycle mode, you're probably not going to use a setting of 14 on your chart. You're probably going to use a tighter setting. Most likely, let's say, you know, drop it all the way down to 7, see what happens, right? Right there, okay? You would have probably been looking at this, okay? Right here, okay, with the setting of 7. There was no entry. Look at this. Okay, there probably was an entry right there, but that was for a quick little scalp right there, okay? Remember, guys, overall, the market was telling you that the direction that price was headed was up. You see that on the 15-minute? That's what market structure does on a higher time frame, okay? It just kind of keeps you focused as to the overall general direction of where the market's moving. But if you're here on a 2-minute chart, you're not going to see that. You're going to see the pop, the reversal, and then if you've got your market structure tool, okay, dialed down to 7, you're going to be catching these little swings right here in price. You see that right there? Now, there was no momentum right here whatsoever. Momentum was just completely flat. Look at this. all the way through here. Momentum was completely flat right there, okay? So, by the way, guys, I need to point out something to you that's really important because I get asked this all the time in these sessions right here. If you sign up, I get asked, am I going to get anything that tells me how to use these tools? And certainly you are. The CYMO setup guide right here, guys, will give you a very detailed explanation of what these settings do. For example, a setting of 7, which is what I have on the screen right now, is highly cyclic, okay? This is typically to catch 2 to 4 bar range cycles. And what is it best for? Hyper scalping, rapid entries, and exits. It's super responsive, ideal for fast, choppy markets. And then I kind of go down the list, okay? What does the setting of 11 do? This is for mildly cyclic markets between 3 to 5 bar moves, okay? So it's best for scalping with slightly a little bit more breathing room. And it kind of goes all the way down the list to 18, where it's only for traders looking to capture the trend component in price, okay? So you get this, and you'll know exactly how to go ahead and tune your CYMO right there when you get it, okay? So let's assume you read the brief in the morning that's in our Discord, and you read that today was going to be a range-bound cyclic market. So you went ahead and tuned this bad boy to 7 or 8 just to try to get the cyclic component of price, okay? You would have been trading all this stuff right here in the morning session, okay? The market was drifting up, okay? There was no telling that this was going to be the right entry right here. The only reason that this entry printed on the chart was because I took it right here as an example on the second bar after as soon as the 945 bar printed right here, because cycle was going up, okay, and momentum was going up as well, okay? But there's no way possible that you would have taken that entry, guys, right here on a 2-minute time frame chart, okay? So that's important to see right there. You would have been looking at the fact that price is inside this range, and you would have said, hey, price is cycling, okay? Fair game. It is. Price is cycling right there. It absolutely is. And you would have set this bad boy at a 7 or 8. And, if you had the heart to trade this, you would have gone and taken whatever trades right here based on what momentum is telling you down here. So, all right, enough with the talk. Okay, let's go ahead and continue this. Now, I got to drop this down to 10 because 20 is too fast for a 2-minute chart, okay? So let's go ahead and drop it down a little bit right there and see if we get any indication that this might actually work in our favor. Oh, and if I'm going to drop it there, I'm going to go ahead and increase this bad boy back to 14, which I think that's where I had it. Anyway, we'll just leave it at 14 and see if it works. Alrighty, so here we've got momentum falling from the top. You've got cycle falling right here as well, okay? And you've got momentum way down here at the bottom, okay? Nothing is happening right there right now for us to take a trade, guys. Nothing. So right here, look at what's happening. You've got momentum finally breaking out of this channel right here to the downside. Cycle just fell. Cycle rose. Momentum fell right here. If momentum sinks below this threshold, that'll be fantastic. That'll likely be a trade to the downside. And so we'll see what happens right now. This is already telling me momentum shifted right here at this level. And sure enough, right here, guys, okay, momentum just sunk here with CYMO as well. Go ahead and take a trade right there to the downside. And here we go right there. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring back the 15-minute chart so you can see exactly where this trade actually got executed right here. Now here's something else that's important to know, guys. Whenever price hits this 80 bar VWAP right here, it tends to stall a little bit, okay? So you got to watch it. Sometimes price will hit here and it'll kind of stall. It'll go sideways right there. And if it breaks below this green line, guys, then everything is gonna, boom, go down, okay? So right now, it's stalled right there, as you can see it, you know, and we'll see once it breaks down, it'll go down. Now, we've got a couple of things going in our favor. One of them is momentum is down here below the threshold, which is good. This is telling you that the market is not in cycle mode, in trend mode right here, okay? Market's in trend mode. Cycle number 2 just started right here to the downside, okay? This is the beginning of cycle number 2 right there, okay? And it's important to follow the cycles, guys. Cycle number 1 is right here and ends right here, and cycle number 2 is right here, okay? Yep, that's how a lot of you guys feel. You know, you get your heart pounding every time you take a trade, your hands sweating. No need to sweat it when you have these tools in your chart, guys. The top indicator is CYMO Pro, and the bottom one is called PureMO. PureMO is an acronym for Pure Momentum, okay? And the top one here is the dynamic VWAP. It's part of the CYMO package right here, okay? Now keep in mind, guys, the dynamic VWAP right here just went ahead and turned red, okay? This is telling you that you're in trend mode, and up here on the left quadrant of your chart, it also says trending. It tells you that the market is trending to the downside. Now, if price were to reverse and close inside this channel right here, that would be the end of the trend. If cycle right here with the cyan line where I'm pointing goes above the 0 line, that is also the end of the trade to the downside, okay? Price broke below the 80 bar. Oops. Yep, I hope you guys are still with me because I lost you there for a couple of seconds, guys. Sorry about that. It's a TikTok theme right there. Okay, price broke below the 80 bar moving VWAP right here, and boom, just went down, okay? And there it is right there, guys. That is the end of that. Looks to be almost the end. Oh, no, it wasn't the end of the trade. I thought it was going to go above that. Nope, I was wrong. You got cycle number 2, actually. Maybe that's what I was looking at right there. Went above the 0 line. Now you've got cycle number 3 coming below right there. Wow, this is amazing. Right there. Check it out. Right there. Okay. This is the NQ. The E-mini NQ. If this bad boy happens to close in here, guys, that is the end. If momentum right here goes above the green line, and okay, right there, that is the end right there, guys. That is where you buy back the trade. Cycle number 3 was just horizontal with the 0 line right there. The moment it went up, that was the end of the move to the upside right there, guys. Okay, there's nothing else left in the trade. Trade is done, okay, and this is the first instance of where price closed above the VWAP line right there, and it turned orange, and you can tell exactly right there where it closed. That was the end of that downside, of that little downside move right there. You had PureMO come all the way up right there, which was nice as well. Let me just go ahead and hit that with an arrow right there. So not bad. Thank you. Let me show you guys how this looked like on a 15-minute time frame right there, okay? Bingo, okay? This is what this trade would have looked like on a 15-minute time frame. This would have been your entry. This would have been your exit right there, okay? Now, we will go ahead and just play this back at 30 and see exactly where cycle actually comes up above the 0 line, okay? And this looks like it might be over pretty soon right there. There it is right there, guys, okay? This is the moment that cycle rolled up above the 0 line on the 15-minute time frame right there, okay? Bingo. That was the end of the cyclic rotation to the downside right here. We got out of the trade right here about 3 bars prior to cycle rolling up above the 0 line using a 2-minute time frame chart, okay? This is where we entered the trade. This is where the trade was exited right there. And look at how it looks on the 2-minute time frame right here, okay? So the last 3 bars on the 15-minute chart were just nothing but a bunch of noise. Look at this right there. We caught the best part of the trade entering here and exiting here. We got out at the end of cycle number 3, cycle 1, cycle 2, and cycle 3 right here, guys, okay? Any questions so far on what I'm illustrating? I'm just curious to know if you guys have any questions so far, okay? So that was a good trade, guys. Awesome trade to the downside. Now, if you want to think about something, okay, if you're watching this recap and you're not already using these tools, okay, what exactly are you waiting for, guys? You just watched CYMO map out structure like a GPS and PureMO catch this trade to the downside, guys, before it even unraveled and ended right here, okay? You could have been on the right side of that shift, but instead, what? You're still out there trying to feel the market? Look, guys, guesswork honestly has no place in 2025 trading, okay? Not with tools like these out there, all right? And the craziest part is you can test drive all of it absolutely free for 7 days, okay? I'm talking CYMO for structure, PureMO for momentum. You even get scalp mode for those quick cycle pops, and our new dynamic VWAP up here to help you stay out of the chop and get you in on the right side of the trade going down like that, okay? And yes, you also get 2 one-on-one setup sessions because we want you to be dialed in and not confused. So let me make this clear. This isn't a sales pitch. This is an invitation to each and every one of you. An invitation to stop trading blind and to finally start trading with tools that work. So if it piques your interest, click, just real simple, just go onto my bio, click the link there, start the free trial, and you guys can see the difference. So I will go ahead and stop where I'm at right there so you guys can see this. This will be posted, both the 15-minute chart and the 2-minute chart will be posted on our Discord chart recap channel today, guys. These are 2 really good charts that you can download and compare side by side and see how these tools are working against a lot of the dinosaurs that are currently in your toolbox.